So I've heard a lot of people say, you're just an ignorant redneck if you don't believe in climate change. Well, okay, yes, climate does change. That's true. But there's no evidence that humans are having a significant impact on it in any way whatsoever. And if you look at the past 65 million years, we are actually in one of the colder periods. We're actually at one of the coldest points of the past 65 million years. And so what scientists will do is they'll take these geological processes take millions of years, and you need to establish a trend. You have to have a significant baseline to measure it against. And what they'll do is they'll take an insignificant sample size because it's so small, and then apply their exponential curve fits and smoothing for dramatic purposes. So, lowest temperature of the past 65 million years. But okay, the ice caps are melting. Well, yes, that's true, but that is totally normal. Over the past 500 million years, we've had ice caps for about half the time. You can see this is ice caps. This is not ice caps. But okay, the sea levels are rising. Well, yes, okay, the sea levels are rising, and when you look at so when scientists will show you a graph, they'll show you the past 50 to 100 years, so just a tiny little bit, but what they leave out is that this is both on trend and completely expected. Since the emergence of the last glacial period, last ice age, you can see we've about 8 to 10,000 years ago, the sea levels have been very consistent in rising, and that's way before humans began industrializing. Okay, so there is no evidence that carbon dioxide has anything to do with temperature. What we have is a hypothesis that it does, and that's what scientists, quote unquote, attempt to model. So this red line here is a model based on CO2, modeling for temperature. And you can see that this is the observations, and they're in no way anywhere close. And so basically, once you have so many, and this is what they all look like. This is what the models based on carbon dioxide all look like. But they consistently churn out inaccurate predictions, and eventually you have to say that your hypothesis is crap and it's not true. But they just keep on. It's all political, is my point. Okay, so what we do have is if you look at ice core samples from hundreds of thousands of years ago, we it's true that the parts per million of CO2 is several hundred higher than our current measurements today. But you have to also take into account that those are two different forms of measurement. You're taking ice cap core samples versus the actual atmosphere today. If you look at the past few hundred kiloyear cycles, so there's peaks, and we are in one of the peaks right now, and there's valleys. So we are either in right now an unusually low peak, or our temperature is set to rise, but there's no deviation from regular temperature trends. Even if you assume that, even if you say that carbon dioxide is higher than it was and humans are responsible for it, there's no deviation in temperature. So this is, okay, so just so you say I'm not leaving out something, this is all the temperature data that we have, and you can see, okay, notice here it goes from hundreds of millions, by the way, and then tens of millions, and then millions, and then thousands. So it gets shorter, and you can see that there is no deviation from regular temperature trends, except these two scary little dots. But those are actually predictions, and we've seen how inaccurate the predictions are. So that's just a little scientific data to debunk the global warming myth.